¿Dónde más? Michael Jackson, kid.
Wow! It looks like Michael Jackson's coming right at me! Wow! It looks like Michael Jackson's coming right at me!
Michael Jackson.
Who are you?
See more smoke. Smoke detector. The more smoke I see, the more noise I make. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster. Detector. The more smoke I see, the more noise I make. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster. More smoke I see, the more noise I make. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster.
Thanks for warning us, Seymour.
That's my job. I hate smoke. It's disgusting. It gives me a headache. So whenever I see it or smell it, I make this noise to warn you. Because where there's smoke, there may be fire.
Good tip, Seymour.
How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them. Is there one outside your bedroom? There's smoke. There may be fire.
Good tip, Seymour.
How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them. Is there one outside your bedroom? There should be. Tell your parents. Be cool.
stop them too. There's some cool rules about fire safety. And if you learn them, you could be a deputy fire marshal! And even teach your family what to do. Check out this free deputy fire marshal kit with cool stuff to help you. Did you know that many fires started because kids played with matches and lighters?
It's really sad. The fire started with matches and lighters for thousands of people last year.
Like parents and grandparents?
Brothers and sisters. If you ever see matches or lighters, don't touch them.
Uh-oh. Somebody left out matches and a lighter.
Remember,
Wow.
keep your eyes open, and if you see these, tell a grown-up right away. But never touch them, and you'll be a real superhero.
Like a deputy fire marshal?
Exactly.
Don't touch matches or ladders. Tell a grown-up instead. Be cool about fire safety.
Sounds like a fire in progress. Let's check it out. Who's a hydrant? What's happening?
We're not sure, but someone playing with matches may have started it.
That's terrible.
You know it, and it was out of control in just a few minutes. You guys need more water? Okay, here it comes. Whoa, whoa,
Hold on, Jose.
whoa.
Hope you get that fire under control. We'll check back with you later.
Muy bien. Very good, eh?
We'll check on that fire later. But now, here's something cool that can warn you about fire. It's one of the most important safety devices you can have in your home. A smoke detector.
Ow, I hate smoke.
Who are you?
See more smoke. Smoke detector. The more smoke I see, the more noise I make. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster.
Thanks for warning us, Seymour.
That's my job. I hate smoke. It's disgusting. It gives me a headache. So whenever I see it or smell it, I make this noise to warn you. 'Cause where there's smoke, there may be fire.
Good tip, Seymour. That's a different noise. What does that mean, Seymour?
Now, if you hear me chirping, that could mean two things. That could mean, well, all of a sudden you bought a bird that you didn't know about, or it could mean that my batteries are low. Go tell your parents that I need new batteries. How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them. Yeah, you count them. Is there one outside your bedroom? Is there? There should be. Tell your parents. You'll see more of me later.
Be cool about fire safety.
Do you know how to escape from your home if there's a fire? You gotta have a plan.
Mascot. Mascot football.
Happy Monday, everyone. The greatest show on television.
All right, they say that some pictures are worth 1,000 words. Well, this one just won't shut the F up. Latest commercial for Relief Factor. No wonder even Biden's media defenders can't do their jobs.
So what does Joe Biden do about this? And what he has done so far hasn't really worked.
Well, and one of the things you hear him doing, frankly, is redefining what unity means. The blunt reality is that's
the original name for Life, Liberty, and Levine. One hopes with their new love of water, can soap be far behind for the Taliban? But back to Biden. According to Bob Woodward's new book, Peril, top aides have tried to shield him from long interviews and unscripted events. And by long, they mean anything that cuts into his pudding time. They call the effect a cocooning of the president, which protects Biden from tough questions and children from being sniffed by Joe Biden. By the way, Cocoon was an 80s movie about old folks starring Wilfred Brimley, who was 26 younger than Joe Biden is now. I didn't get a laugh. Meanwhile, the growing border crisis in Del Rio only worsens, and according to the polls, our country is as divided as Robert Shaw at the end of Jaws. Some unifier. No wonder even Biden's media defenders can't do their jobs.
So what does Joe Biden do about this? And what he has done so far hasn't really worked.
Well, and one of the things you hear him doing, frankly, is redefining what unity means. The blunt reality is that's not happening.
I think he's got a pretty big credibility crisis on his hands, because all of these problems, in some ways, showed up after he said something basically the exact opposite. He's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, that Chalk Todd. I changed his name to Chalk Todd. What do you think? Joe, you heard the man. Get to work. What say you?
Look. I promised to be the unity president, and I'm delivering. All right? As long as you get your vaccination, and you wear your mask, and you voted for me, and you don't live in one of those red states, we're good to go. Everybody else, I'm beginning to lose my patience. Okay? So unity, everybody. It's on the money. E pluribus unum. You know what that means. Do everything I say.
All right. Tyrus, is Biden's advantage that he has so many crises that we cannot focus on just one?
No, everyone's focusing on all of them at the same time. That's why he's riding a bike. It looked like a late night TV, like Murder, She Wrote. Like he's showing himself riding bikes and typing on a typewriter and gardening and doing all the things around the house, except the entire world's exploding around him. Another thing I find interesting is Psaki, every time she talks, she always talks about his vast experience in these situations. He's been doing this for over 50 years. So what has he got to say? He should have some really good stories, like, in 1985 this happened and we handled it this way. Or in 1997 this happened. Or in 2000 or in 1814 when I got my first pair of shoes after slaying the dinosaurs. But we're not hearing anything.
That is such a great point.
50 years of experience?
It's that sometimes you do things for 50 years and you just get tired of it. But it's also the pageantry that they did 50 years ago. We got it on tape now. Not on tape. It's actually on your phone. Never mind. It's not on tape. That was like 30 years ago.
I would be okay if he said Google me. Like, Google me in 85. That's the answer. Like, give us something. But
whenever you have some old guy at work who's a consultant or something like that, Rob, you remember this.
Sure.
Or you might be one.
Yeah, I
But at least he goes, back when we worked on...
I'm sure it was probably Syracuse or something like that.
All right. Good point. Up next, who wants cops on site? It's compared to 51% of white voters. Now this poll is significant because November voting ballot. In other words, a year after defund the police became a rallying cry in many cities, it's not black citizens who want to end the police, it's dumb woke white people. But it's like the media says, if you want to know what black people think about
Had allergies make your nose so congested you suffer? That's Stuffering. Nasacort stops the stuffering. Nasacort is as effective as Flonase at a fraction of the price. For proven non-drowsy relief, stop the stuffering with Nasacort.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Happy Monday. Just for fun sometime, give a little civics test to people in your neighborhood. First, you had to control its military, the guys with guns, as Mark Milley once. The new Secretary of Defense is
absolutely need to look at any type of white supremacists that are still members of the military and how they're being targeted for recruitment by white supremacists.
Every hour, and they're heading over to the International Bridge, which you can see in the background. Look at that mass of people. This is why the situation under the bridge continues to deteriorate. This is insane.
Laura Logan joins us straight ahead to tell us. We've been saying for months that our southern border is out of control, that it's completely open. Just in case you think we've been overstating that, here's this. More than 13,000 Haitians have now crossed into Del Rio, Texas. Our own Bill Malugin has been on this story like nobody else. He was there on Saturday. Here's part of what he saw.
What you're looking at right now that is the U.S. side of the Rio Grande. That is a mass of several hundred illegal immigrants who have just crossed the Rio Grande. And look at this, several hundred more streaming across as we speak. We're on a boat in the Rio Grande. This is the Mexican side of the river right now. You can see it's a never-ending stream. Hundreds of people crossing the Rio Grande basically every hour. And they're heading over to the International Bridge, which you can see in the background. Look at that mass of people. This is why the situation under the bridge continues to deteriorate. This is insane. The federal government has to wake up.
So a lot of questions here. Where do these Haitians come from? How'd they get here? How'd they afford it? But most pressing of all for Americans is, where are these Haitians going? U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz just told Malugin that of the 12,000 migrants under the bridge in Del Rio, only adult men will be deported. Yeah, right. The rest will be processed and released into what you thought was your country, but turns out isn't. Today, Fox News' Peter Doocy asked the White House what our border czar thinks about all of this.
Where's the vice president on any of this? Isn't she supposed to be addressing the root causes of migration?
Absolutely, and she has been addressing the root causes of migration by working with countries in the region to ensure they have the assistance they need, to reduce the number of people who are coming and trying to make those journeys across the border. We've actually seen some reductions in some of those numbers. That doesn't change the fact that this is a very challenging situation in Del Rio. We're working to implement our policies, and we're working to ensure we are also addressing root causes.
So why does our guy have to wear the obedience mask and that woman doesn't? So many questions. Somebody who can answer a lot of those questions is Laura Logan, host of the Laura Logan Has No Agenda show on Fox Nation, which is excellent. She joins us tonight. Laura, thanks so much for coming on. So how do these people get here? Where are they going? Do you know?
Well, you know, what's interesting about these people, Tucker, is that basically
fire safety.
Who are you?
See more smoke. Smoke detector. The more smoke I see, the more noise I make. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster.
Oh my God.
Introducing Hershey's Organic. Start your fall projects today with Michael's same-day delivery and curbside pickup.
Businesses need to hold part of the climate crisis.
Do more sustainable farming. It's a big...
Start at the U.S. southern border tonight, where America's hottest new destination seems to be Del Rio, Texas, or as illegals might call it, Bidenville. Has a nice ring to it, right? Population 8, 10, 12,000, who knows? The situation on the border is spiraling out of control as shocking footage showed 12,000, mostly Haitian, illegal immigrants crammed under a bridge in South Texas last week. And they're still there right now. Things are so bad, it's not just Republicans sounding the alarm, as Obama's DHS Secretary Jay Johnson, well, he's also crying uncle.
We have to get control of our borders. 200,000 a month is a lot of people. DHS just released the numbers for August. It's 200,000. August is typically a month where it's very low. And those kinds of numbers and the images you just showed your audience saps the ability, it overwhelms the ability of DHS, the Border Patrol, ICE.
Overwhelmed. Unable to ignore the crisis any longer. And we start at the U.S. southern border tonight, where America's hottest new destination.
Just released the numbers for August. It's 200,000. August is typically a month. It's typically a month.